So it seems that after last night, AEW kind of improved on what is going to be, I guess, their main storyline, their NEO, New Elite Order storyline, as I look at it. And look, I give them credit, where it's due, all right? Obviously, they heard the backlash about last week and realized, okay, we need to better ourselves if we're going to make the storyline interesting in the eyes of a lot of folks. And to the credit, they did. But what really got people talking was Kenny Omega. And apparently Kenny, who has surgery coming up for his diverticulitis, or whatever it's called, apparently he's going to have surgery. And him taking bumps would aggravate, this situation. Ended up taking bumps, not just in the ring, but on the concrete as well because of the angle. And it got people wondering if maybe he's not as bad as he's letting on. Because, let's be honest, in today's society, it's hard for any wrestling company to keep kayfabe, real anymore. I'm trying to find the right word to say. It takes a lot of effort to keep it real and to keep fans guessing as to what's next or as to what's really going on. So, yeah, if Kenny is basically not letting on that, hey, I'm not as bad as I thought I was or I used to be, and I don't need surgery, but he's not totally, letting us in on that, then all credit to him. Because, again, if they're going to go a route with this storyline to where they want to make it feel as real and as legit, as they can make it, then all power to them. But here's the thing. I'm just kind of afraid, is what I am. And what I mean is I'm afraid that this new elite, this NEO, I should say, this NEO as I call it, New Elite Order, that this new elite storyline, this DX, NWO-like storyline, I just feel it's going to blow up in their face. I really do. I just feel it's going to blow up in their face. I mean, give it credit where it's due. When TNA would do these kind of things, like with Immortal and Aces and Eights and all that, yeah, over time it did kind of get watered down. It did get watered down. It started to lose its luster. But at least they did enough, during that time to keep you invested, to keep you wondering what's next. And hopefully they do that here with this NEO storyline, as I look at it, or as I like to call it. Because if not, people are going to tune away. They're going to tune away, to something else. They might go straight to WWE and want to see what they're doing. They might decide to just watch TNA. They might decide they want to watch MLW, you name it. They're going to want to see something else outside of what AEW is doing with the storyline. Now, could they make things a lot more interesting come Double or Nothing, maybe with the inclusion of new members? Because they alluded to the fact that, even though what they did last week was heinous, they can't be fired because they have ironclad contracts with founder clause in them. And basically they state that prevents them from being fired, and it puts protection on them as well as their colleagues. And I want to look at that one, I want to look at that one right there, that key word, colleagues. To me, what that states is what we're going to probably get from this is, I would assume, AEW in the storyline eyes of the Bucks, AEW originals against AEW outsiders. And what I mean by that is I could see the Bucks aligning themselves, with people who they're close friends with, who wanted to have a company of their own, but now they have to share it with those who made names for themselves elsewhere. So I could see that maybe being, the crux, if you will, of what, keeps this storyline going over time. I could see that, being the crux, if you will, what keeps the storyline going. Because if they don't try to figure something out to keep people invested, ratings and viewership be darned, if they don't do something, to, keep that investment going, and that interest going, this storyline is going to plummet, quicker than I think they expect it to. And the reason I say that is because a lot of fans will start making comparisons over time to NWO or to DX. The takeover, the production truck, the, abusing power, and da. I mean, here's what I think would be a situation to where if they don't keep this interesting and intriguing, it's gonna die a slow death. Because the one thing I was thinking about earlier, looking back at this, the one thing I was thinking about is, what if this is all about the elite just wanting a thank you? What if that's what this all really is? What if this is all just about the elite coming out and saying, hey, you want us to leave you alone? Then AEW roster, please thank us for having AEW around for you. Is that what this might lead to? Because if it does, that would be the dumbest reason. It would be the dumbest reason. My opinion on this is, again, they got to come up with something that's not going to be that silly. They got to come up with something that's going to, keep people invested and intrigued. What they did to Kenny last night, that's going to keep people invested and intrigued to see what happens next on Collision this Saturday and the following Dynamite this Wednesday. It's going to make people want to tune in, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing because inevitably they know Tony Khan and maybe Shad Khan are going to return and make their presence known. And what's going to happen is you're going to get that power struggle. You're going to get the power struggle of, hey, I can't fire you, but I could sure as hell make your life living hells. And then you can have the Bucks retaliate, like saying, yeah, you could do that, but we can use our power to make whatever you put us in, whatever match you put us in, we can make it in our favor and all that. So you can have that power struggle, happen. You can have that power struggle happen, upon Tony Khan's and Shad Khan's return. Now, what they could also do, and I was thinking about this out of left field, is Tony Khan's not a wrestler, but he is somebody that could reach out to somebody that could get physical. And I was thinking about this, even when, the Bucks started doing this whole EVP situation. I was thinking about this, and I came to realize, what if Tony Khan hires Sting to come in? Now, I know Sting's retired, he doesn't wrestle anymore, but it doesn't mean he can't be an authority figure. So what if Tony Khan comes out and says he's given his power to someone that can get physical and someone that you guys have never been able to beat, and then out comes Sting? What if he does that? You want to talk about a power play? You want to talk about someone that can go, verbal for verbal, can play the Bucks game, tit for tat? That right there would make things a lot interesting. It would. But I'm afraid that if they don't do something like that, like add in new members at Double or Nothing, add, Sting to the equation as someone that has power courtesy of Tony Khan that can go tit for tat, with the Bucks, or maybe crazy enough, just have them come out and say, hey, you want us to leave you alone? Give us a thank you. If they don't come up with something going forward for this NEO storyline, as I look at it, it's going to basically hurt them in the long run. Because like I said earlier, give it credit where it's due. When TNA would have these storylines with Immortal and with, Aces and Eights and so on, they would keep things interesting. They would keep people invested as to wanting to know what happens next. And to me, I think honestly, AEW, Tony Khan, and the Bucks, they're going to have to do something with the storyline to keep people invested. They are. Now, the one thing I do advise them to do is not drag the storyline out forever. Because you keep dragging this out, people are going to get tired of it. So what you want to do is do what you got to do to keep people invested during the time you're doing this, and then bring it to a conclusion before it gets, way out of hand. Now, some people might say, well, that conclusion could be a blood and guts match on Dynamite. I agree. Some people say it could be, part of that conclusion, the first step to that conclusion could be an, Anarchy in the Arena match. I agree. That could be it too. And some might say, well, what if they're waiting to Full Gear, to do it, or All In to do it? And I agree. Any one of those situations could be a good, good direction to go in, to kind of bring this to a close. But what they really need to do, so that people don't lose their interest, is basically bring it to a close, before it gets out of hand. Because sooner or later, like I said, people are going to tune out and want to tune into something else because they'll start noticing similarities to NWO and DX and things that TNA did in similar fashions. And they'll be like, this is just another hostile takeover, NWO, DX inspired storyline. And we know what the outcome's going to be. So what they need to do, during this time that they're doing this is, get people invested as quick as you can, get them intrigued as quick as you can, and, and basically, I'm trying to, hold on. Almost got tongue-tied there. But like I said, get people intrigued and invested as quick as you can, so that way you can get this storyline done and over with before it really runs its course. I mean, let's take a look at the Bloodline in WWE. The Bloodline basically was one of the more dominant storylines, for the past several years. But even over time, in the past year or two, it started to kind of, wane its course. Like people started to lose, interest in it. The investment in it started to wane. And then all of a sudden, you injected The Rock into it, and all new life was ejected. All new life was brought to the forefront, but just in time for the conclusion of this part of the Bloodline to come to an end at WrestleMania, which it did. Now you have a new start to the Bloodline with this whole Solo and Tama Tonga and, thing going on. So you have this new start, of the Bloodline, this new story for the Bloodline to work off of. And to me, AEW needs to take a lesson from, they need to take a lesson from that and realize, okay, we don't want to drag this out too long. We want to make a point with this storyline. We want the Bucks and Okada and Perry to get the comeuppance and whoever else is associated with them to get the comeuppance. That's fine. That's fine. We want to basically make sure, the good guys win in the end. So let's do what we got to do. So to me, they got to make sure they get people quickly invested. They got to get people quickly interested into what's going on. They got to basically go, in my opinion, with the next step in the storyline, so that way it gets done with before it runs its, wears out its welcome, is what I'm trying to say. They need to do that. They need to do that. And last night was a good first step in making that happen. Because now you have Kenny added to the mix. You have Kenny added to the mix, if you will, to oppose the Bucks. You've already got Swerve in the mix to oppose them. Now you got an FTR. So you have pretty much a blood and guts team right there to go up against them. Maybe. But also now you got to add a few more pieces to the puzzle. Right now you're kind of even Steven with, the Bucks, the elite, the new elite, having, opposition. But now you gotta start, go. You got to start go, if you will, and you got to give the elite an advantage by giving them someone to associate with, on their side, and then after a while do the same for the opposition, Team AEW. So to me, last night was the first step, but now they got to go. They got to push the pedal to the metal, if you will, and keep the foot on the gas. Excuse me there. Well, like I said, they got to keep the foot on the gas and everything. They got to keep the foot on the gas and just go with the storyline. They got to go with the storyline and not stop until they get to the end, at least this summer, which would be culminated at All In or All Out. Or if they want to continue dragging it on to at least November, maybe even December, they got to get going. They got to keep the intrigue going. Go. Or else, what I'm afraid is going to happen is people, like I said, are going to lose interest. The investment's going to wane, and they're going to want to tune into something else. So if I'm AEW with the storyline, last night was a good first start, and now you got to go. You got to go. And don't stop until you reach that finish line. And hopefully you reach that finish line before you wore out your welcome. So that's just my opinion. Because, again, credit where credit is due. When TNA would do these kind of things, people were invested. MLW is currently doing something right now with Contra, and it's got people invested as to what's going to happen next. When WCW did this with the NWO, what made that successful is you never knew what was going to happen the following week. You never knew who was going to align themselves with NWO or who was going to get kicked out. You never knew. And it kept people's intrigue and investment going, week after week after week. And that's what they need to do here. They need to make sure that what they follow up with next keeps people going, going for more. Keeps them going, to want to see more. It keeps them wanting to tune in to want to see more, is what I'm trying to say. They'll keep going to maybe purchase tickets and attend the events when it comes close to their home. But still, it'll keep people invested. It'll keep people invested and intrigued as to what the next step will be. But that's what I would do. Just keep going and going and going. You got your first big step, last night with the attack on Kenny. So now, now you got to keep going. You got to go. You got to go, and don't stop until at least you hit the finish line, which will be either between All In and Forbidden Door, or not All In, but hold on. Almost got tongue-tied again. But like I said, you got to keep go. You got to keep go. That foot on the pedal until you reach the finish line, which is either between All In and Full Gear, or Full Gear and World's End. That's what you got to keep doing. You got to keep go until you reach that finish line, that conclusion. Because if you sag off for just a moment, people are going to lose investment. They're going to lose intrigue, and they're going to want to watch something else that's going to be more entertaining to them. So to me, you got to go. Don't stop. You got people talking now. You got them talking now. Let's see you keep that momentum going. Because you keep it going, you might be surprised as a result. You might get more filled up arenas, small or big. You might get more viewership, maybe by a few hundreds. But the more you go, the more you keep that pedal to the metal for this, the better the results will be. Because if you sag off just once, you can pretty much kiss any momentum you had goodbye. But that's just my thoughts on it, guys. I know I rambled a little bit here, like I went all over the place. with this, I mean, apparently that's how some people view AEW now when they talk about it in any capacity. Like, hey, if they're going to be all over the place, then hey, when we talk about it, we'll be the same way. But let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Do you believe they need to keep going and going and going now that they got that momentum? Or do you think maybe a bit of a break here and there will help them? I don't think so. I think they got to keep going and going and going and going and going. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion till they reach the finish line. They gotta do things in between to keep people's investment and intrigue going. And like I said, if it's adding new members to associate with the elite and then later on for the opposition, so be it. You got to keep it going. So let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Comment down below. Live chat if you're watching on YouTube. And until then, talk to you all later.